Hey, today we are replacing the starter on the Miata. For that, I'm going to show you how to start your car with a bad starter, using only a stick. Alright, this is a good example. Car starter is not working, car doesn't start. Now let's give it a nice little whack and see what happens. These tools are incredibly helpful during the install and are definitely going to make things a lot easier for you, along with your basic hand tools and sockets, etc. The electric ratchet makes quick work of removing and reattaching nuts, bolts, especially in those tight spots like the power and the ground wires. 12-inch extension is going to be necessary for those bolts at the top of the transmission, and the extendable ratchet is great because it acts like a regular ratchet but also extends to like a mini breaker bar. Since filming is going to be a little bit tough under the car due to space, I wanted to show you the starter and the 3 bolt locations off the car so you have a rough idea where the bolts would be located. You can see that there are 2 bolts at the top, and then there's also 1 bolt on the side towards the bottom. Now let's hop under the car. So here's the starter looking through the passenger front fender well. Make sure your battery has been unplugged for about 10 minutes first, and then you'll want to remove the 2 connections on the starter. There's a clip connection here, and there is a wire attached via a nut. It's kind of tight, and this is where the electric ratchet really came in handy. Now here is a view from under the car in the transmission tunnel, looking towards the front of the car. You can see below to the right there is a bolt. This one is a bit special because there's a nut on the other end, so you'll need to hold it to loosen it. On the top you can see the last 2 bolts, the top one being the most annoying, but if you have a 12-inch extension, you should be alright. Once the bolts and the electrical connections are removed, the starter should come out without much effort. You might have to do some wiggling around clutch lines and suspension bits, but it's like level 1 Tetris stuff. Now to put the starter back in is like level 2 Tetris. The starter is sort of heavy, so what I found was helpful was to stick my right arm through the front of the car and hold the starter up, while my left arm secured a couple threads of the bolts. Sorry, this is a bad angle, but hopefully you get an idea of what I'm trying to say. Bolt everything back together, reconnect all the electrical connections, replug your battery, and give it a start. Alright, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope that was useful. Don't forget to be subscribed for your chance to win $100 worth of car parts, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace!